Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. Today I'm going to be answering a real estate question. If you didn't know I did real estate questions on this channel, I don't do as many of them, but I have a whole playlist on real estate. If you're interested in real estate investment, I also have a course on that, which you can check out. It's in the videos, they'll be in the description below as well. But someone asked me this question about interest-free real estate career, and I thought this was interesting. It comes from William, and he says, how realistic is an interest-free real estate career? For personal reasons, I'd prefer not to pursue financial deals that involve interest. Is it a matter of having enough capital? So, William, yes, it is a matter of having enough capital. I have a friend who's actually doing this. I did not do an interest-free real estate career. I'm sort of doing one now. I've paid off all my properties now. But when I started out, I leveraged, right? And leverage is definitely an advantage in real estate because I'm not going to go into all the details here. I'm sure that if you're asking this question, you're familiar with it. If you're not familiar with it, definitely check out my playlist on real estate stuff, or check out, I've got a course on it, like I said, and that goes into details. But essentially, I leverage, and when you leverage, what ends up happening is that when you do have appreciation in real estate climbs in value, you get multipliers you get a multiplied return on your investment because the bank is loaning you a majority of the money. So that's the most advantageous position to be in, but it also reduces your cash flow. I always talk about this knob you can turn when you do real estate investment between leverage and cash flow, right? Leverage will get you higher potential returns in the future, but cash flow gets you money now, right? And sometimes that's good. And so you can do an interest-free real estate career. One of my buddies who is doing things differently than I am, he's doing this, and what he's done is, and this is a good strategy, I'll just outline you the basic strategy of how this works, is that he bought, like you buy a property, okay? And this is what he did. You buy a property, and in this case, if you're doing it totally interest-free, he started with a loan, but if you're doing it totally interest-free, you would buy it cash, okay? And then when you have that property, it generates a certain amount of cash flow from it, okay? So then you're saving money, and then you buy a second property, and you use the money that you're making, the cash flow from the first property, to help buy a second property. Then you've got two properties, okay? And you've got money that you're working from your job. Then you take the money that you're making from both of those properties, okay? And you're making money twice as fast now, plus the property you're making from your job, and you save it up and you buy a third property. And the third property, assuming they're all the same size property, you keep on accelerating that pace and you keep on acquiring properties faster and faster, which gets you more money to be able to do deals, which creates this whole snowball effect. Now, I'll be honest with you, if you're doing this with cash deals, it's going to be harder, right? Because it's not going to accelerate as fast, because you're going to have to, I mean, the snowball effect will eventually accelerate, but you're not going to get a huge return on your investment as you would if you're leveraged and you're selling the properties in 1031 exchanging, right? So there's definitely some downsides to this, but it's totally possible, and it does create that snowball effect. It just takes a while to get the snowball rolling. But imagine what happens when you've got 15 properties, right? And they're all kicking off cash flow to you, and now you can basically, every couple of months you could buy a new property, and you could, I know some people that have portfolios of several hundred properties who have done this and just paid cash and just bought them and paid them off cash. But it's good to have a lot of capital to start with. Most people aren't going to be able to do this. They're going to want to come in with a 10 or 20% down payment on a property, right? Even if you find a cheap property, it's hard to have, not too many people have like 100, 200 grand lying around cash. But if you do, and you really don't want to do the interest thing, then like I said, think this through, right? Run the numbers. I'd get a spreadsheet if I were you, and I'd figure it out and figure out the timeline. And like I said, the snowball is going to start off really, really slow, just like a regular snowball. But once you get that thing going, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be crazy. It might take 20 years. It might take 30 years for you to really get the snowball going. So it's definitely possible to do. Again, if you're interested in this stuff, I have a whole course on it where I talk about just the simple way to do real estate investment, how I've been doing it, right? I make $12,000 a month passive income from real estate. Check it out here, and it's in the description below. But it takes time, and it is hard work. There's no free lunch in life. There's no get rich quick. It doesn't work that way. But if you're willing to invest the time and the money, it's definitely the best investment you can make in your life, I think, financially, as far as I'm concerned. All right, that's all I got for you today. If you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button below, and make sure you click the bell so you don't miss any videos I do on this channel. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.